Hey guys, I just wanted to walk you through how I'm sort of setting up the class and what you can expect to get out of Canvas and how I'll be using it. So, the very first thing is when you click the home page, it brings you right to the syllabus. So, this is our syllabus. It says at the top syllabus draft. I'm just slightly altering some of the due dates in the middle of the semester. You don't have to worry about those right now. Otherwise, everything is pretty clear. You'll see my name, our section. Please try to contact me through email. It's just the easiest and most efficient way. We also have the dates in which the course is running, the writing program website. There's a quick course description, required texts. It's important that you do get the editions that are listed just because a lot of the published exemplars in the books are only in that specific edition, and that's what we work with to help you understand assignments. There are some course requirements. I would like for you to read through these in your own time, but these are very, very important rules. So please make sure that you're looking through these 9 rules. There's also the Rutgers policy on academic integrity, and I've also linked their website just in case you wanted to check on that more specifically, but I can't tell you how important it is to abide by the proper academic integrity rules. So please make sure that you're doing that. I've listed a few other websites that might be useful, but one I want to point out to you is the library guide for our course. This is one that you'll be using very frequently. It's a really great website that was developed by the Rutgers librarians. They've taken our 6 Ps and they've sort of put them into different tabs to sort of help us research them and different ways to contact the librarians. But you'll see that, for instance, if you click the patron tab, they have a ton of different pieces of information on how to help you get started regarding researching your population, your patron, your problem, whichever you choose. But you'll see here your patron, you might even choose to go to the foundation directory online and find a foundation that would be interested in funding your project. Then once you find that foundation, you just go a little bit more specifically into it and just try to figure out the person who would be in charge of giving you funding. Just to click on one more, if you click population, they give you information to go to the census and get different pieces of data that might help you for a town that you're focusing on or a city. They also have, for instance, if you're working with a school population, you can access all of New Jersey's school performance reports. So make sure that you're using this. It's a great resource, and all of these tabs are very helpful when it comes to research. And then there's the weekly agenda, and you can see how a lot of these little dates in here I'm still thinking about, but you can look at week 1 and know that it's the way it should be. So going off of that, if you click on announcements, this is how I try to stay in touch with you to the best of my ability and let you know of anything important that's posted or anything that you need to be focusing on for the week. So please make sure that you're checking those. I did post all of the textbook information in the announcements. I've given you a very easy way to access the textbooks online. It's a little bit cheaper and I think it's a little bit more efficient, but please let me know. The last tab we'll be using a lot are modules. So if you click that modules tab, you'll see that I've included a small section up here called Course Essentials. And then what I've done is I've included module 1. And that is for our first week. You can see that the only thing that is not yet published is the screencaster lecture because I'm currently recording that now and I'll upload it in just a few moments. But if you click our week 1 overview, you will see that it just brings you exactly to what's expected of you. And this includes everything. And this is taken right from the syllabus. So you'll see that the introduction to the course is just 7 pages. It's chapter 1 of the Magrino textbook. So please make sure that you are reading that. There's a 6 Ps exercise, which is actually just the newspaper assignment. So just make sure that you're doing that. I've modeled how to do that. I'll go over that in a few minutes. You'll be reading an article in the Magrino textbook, and you'll be posting the questions for that in a discussion thread. I will also go over that in a moment. If you wanted to get a jump start on next week, try to find a job posting because we'll be going over the resume and cover letter assignment. I also want you to take a peek at your other textbook, the Alred textbook, and just skim through the style and language section. If there's a small part of that that really speaks to you, focus there. You'll just be writing a quick reflection on some skills that you've learned, and that's just about a paragraph. The due date is right here. And there's a couple of other things. There's an introduction tab where I just want you to introduce yourself to me and your classmates. And there will also be a little discussion tab for you to make a list of possible topics that you're interested in. So if we go back to modules, you'll see that all of those things are there. These are the 2 PowerPoints from the previous lecture if you need them. There's also a white paper checklist. This is something we'll go over next week. I may post a video on it towards the end of the week, but this is going to be our first assignment. So if you just wanted to peek at that, you can, but we're not doing anything with it yet. You'll see that the discussion thread is posted for the Defining a Paradigm article. And you'll see that there are 2 due dates. You're posting your answer by the 30th at midnight, and you're posting the responses by Tuesday's class. And Tuesday's class just means by midnight on Tuesday. So you'll see that you were all assigned a question, so you'll respond just to that question. You'll see some people started doing this. Once you respond to that question, you'll have to wait until everyone else uploads their questions, and then you'll have the opportunity to respond to the others. So if you were assigned question 1, you'll just have to respond to at least one of the question 2s, one of the 3A's, one of the 3B's, and one of the 4's, okay? So just going back to modules, I just want to go through the other sections. The Alred style and language reflection, you can just upload it right here. Remember, that's just a paragraph. And you are also going to be required to introduce yourself. So you can see that I started by introducing myself, and I've just given 2 facts that you may not have known about me, and people have started to introduce themselves as well, which is great. Back to modules. Potential proposal topics. So I've just given you a little bit of instruction that extends on what I introduced to you in the previous lecture. So please make sure that you're reading this. You'll see that someone already updated topics that they're interested in. This is a good way for me to give you feedback. I can tell you, oh, your first option looks really great. Your second option looks a little too broad. So just make sure you're checking back and seeing what feedback I give you. And then lastly, I just want to go over that newspaper assignment. That's listed right here. It's also set up as a discussion thread, but what you're going to do, you're going to be searching for any article. I just chose a popular source, and mine's actually a little bit old, but I've just used this as an example for a while. If you click the link, it'll take you to this article, and the article is discussing how Trenton School District on-time graduation rates finally topped 50% in 2014. If you were to read through the whole article, you would see that they were in the 40s previous years, so this is a big accomplishment, but to me, it's still sad because we want that graduation rate to be higher. We want all of those students to be graduating. So the first thing you'll do is you'll just offer a very quick summary of the article itself, and then you're going to list out your 6 P's, and you're just going to take notes on them. So who could be a person who would fund this project? Since it's education related, I thought maybe the Trenton Board of Education, or perhaps a foundation that cares about the success and well-being of inner city students. So assuming and sort of guesstimating at this point is okay. It's just practice for you to understand the 6 P's. The population, very easy, just Trenton High School students. The problem, this is also not so bad. We just talk about what is happening with the graduation rates. And I actually included one thing that the article said, that they are incorporating small learning communities to try to combat this issue, and it's been semi-successful. But I also decided to include that there are still many obstacles that they face when it comes to on-time graduation, and I just included a few that would help define the problem, especially given the population and where it's located. So things like crime, gangs, poverty, food insecurity, homelessness, unstable family situations, the need to work and attend school and trying to figure out that balance. But just keep that in mind. So next would be the paradigm. Remember, these are your researched models of success and pieces of theory. So all I did was, and remember, this is sloppy. We're going to be researching in a much more professional way once you actually choose your topic. But for the sake of this, you can just sort of look things up. So I just looked up, well, what about Chicago? What are they doing? Do they have a low graduation rate? And when I Googled that, I found that they added more guidance counselors to try to make that ratio better between how many guidance counselors there are to a number of students. I also looked up what Camden's doing, and they have an after school program that includes peer tutoring as well as mentoring, and they also provide food to students. And then I also looked up LA, and they included a mindfulness program to try to combat this issue. So I went into that in a little bit more detail. You can read it. But your plan is basically a synthesis of these three things. So if I were to enact a plan at Trenton, I would say add more guidance counselors to help better assist students. I would like to add an after school and a before school program just to help students make sure that they're fed, they can work on volunteer experiences, they can get help academically, whatever they need. And then lastly, I thought maybe adding a meditation or mindfulness strategy into the curriculum. So I've just guesstimated the price. You can look at the breakdown, but that is all you are doing. So if you have any questions about how this is set up, please let me know. And I'm happy to help you. Thank you.